All right, here we are, 16 minutes gone past the hour 5 on this hump day, Wednesday, on the Smooth Drive on Smooth 98.1, your love music, love live station with me, Ayo. And yes, it's that time to talk about your money and how you can make the best of it. This is personal finance on the Smooth Drive. And like I said earlier, it's going to be an absolutely interesting conversation, an eye-opening one, which I hope is going to be eye-opening for each and every single person, because truckload of questions to be asked. But hey, let me not get ahead of myself. Now, I mentioned earlier that if you are in tune with social media, you watch Instagram, TikTok, and so on and so forth. There was this couple who made videos documenting how they were able to build a home in 6 months. Yeah, and we all had our mouths open like, what? Anyways, they are joining Rotus and I this evening to talk about how they were able to pull that off, and talking about Michael and Blessing Ifeanyi. Very good evening to you guys. Great to have you on Personal Finance on Smooth 98.1.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for having us.
Fantastic. All right, like I said, so many questions to ask, but we are not alone. Rotus is joining me as well. I should have started there, but my excitement just got ahead of me. Rotus, great to have you in as always. Don't feel like I put you in the back. No, nothing like that. Nothing like that.
Good evening, Ayo. Good evening to all our listeners, viewers, and of course, our couple. Yeah, I would, for personal finance, we talk a lot about saving. We talk a lot about investing. We talk a lot about looking ahead, and we know that there are a lot of people who want to one day live in a home of their own. And so it's nice to bring folks on who can talk to us about the discipline in saving your money and the discipline in being steadfast with your finances and the discipline in following through on your goals, so it's always great to not just have me preaching this stuff all the time. It's good to have other people, real life people to come on and tell us about that. So good evening to them. So yeah, let's get started. So your home is in, we don't want to give people your address. So for personal reasons, we're not gonna do that. But this is in Abuja. You want to give maybe a general area of where this home is?
Mr. Rotus, just like you said, for security reasons, we just might not want to give the actual area the house is. So I think it's best we leave it that it's in the Federal Capital Territory of Abuja.
All right, fine. So it is in the Federal Capital Territory. So that is fine. So let's get some advice here on folks. You obviously start with the land. Yes, is that where all this begins?
Yeah.
So how much does the land cost?
Well, where the land is, we actually purchased the land for 4 million naira. And
wow.
Yeah, with all the necessary documentation, it was rounding up about give or take 5 million.
That is interesting. I was thinking that you were going to say something in the realm of double-digit millions or something like that, but wow, 4 million and then 5 million, all the documentation and everything. Now that mine is.
I know. What about? There's also the issue of safety, right? Safety, and also the issue of not being, I guess, the security side of things when it comes to making sure that when you purchase land, it hasn't already been sold to somebody else.
Yes.
Yeah, can you take us through that process? Just give me 2 seconds. I have to turn off my video for a second. But if you guys can talk us through the process of making sure that when you purchase land, just the security side of it, because we've had so many stories of people who buy land, there's issues with the title, and then you now find out that the land was already sold to somebody else. So can you talk us through that?
Okay, so when we got the land, the first thing we did was to contact our lawyer. We gave the he needed. He made this research to find out if the land was if we actually got it from the right source. And then when everything was right on his end, he did the papers, and then we picked it up, and that was it.
straightforward, no issues. There were no start, and even after that, there was nobody coming around to make any claims or ask any questions. Oh, this is my land, I have this paper, or you need to pay money for something, or all those funny stories that you hear, even like in Lagos and all this omonile and all that. There was no issue whatsoever where that came in.
We had no single issue from the purchase even till now that we are living in the house. We've never had anybody come to our gate to say, hey, you're occupying my property and all that. So, yeah, before we even bought the land, we made sure that we got it from, because it's a community land. So we made sure that we got it from the right people. We made our research and all that.
Yeah.
And yeah, nobody has ever come here to say, you guys are occupying our property or my property or whatever.
Interesting. All right. Now, like I said, we have a truckload of questions, and I'm pretty sure our listeners would have a truckload of questions as well. So for all our listeners out there, and for those who are joining us live on YouTube, yes, we're streaming live on YouTube. It's at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. You can join the live stream there and catch what we're talking about. And you can send your messages via WhatsApp on 0809 440 981. Those are the ways that you can be a part of the discussion this evening on personal finance. Okay, now after you had bought the land, you had made sure that everything was fine, which is actually something a lot of people need to take note of. Some people don't actually go through the right means or do the right things when it comes to buying land. So what you guys did was actually very important, making sure that you employ the right people, got the right people to vet and ensure that everything is spot on, everything is fine. Okay, now we have established that you did that. So when it came to payments for the piece of land, did you pay for it back one time, or was it an instrumental payment kind of thing?
It was a one-time payment. We paid it in full.
Ooh.
Because we don't have to go like we.
Oh wow.
Okay. Can you guys talk about saving up for that particular, how that worked out? Because as far as a married couple finances, or how did that, was there foresight involved, saving up for it and so on and so forth? Can you talk about that process?
Well, we've always wanted to, prior before now, we've not been we were not living in Abuja. We were living in the East. So when we got married, we've always wanted to stay in Abuja. That has always been our goal. I remember when the first time we had our trial, the first place we visited was Abuja, because we just wanted to see what the city was like, if it's actually what we wanted. So when we got married, and just before we even got the property, we've already know, okay, here, this is where we want to stay, and this is where we want to live permanently. So before our marriage, we started putting small things aside, just so we could just purchase a land. Who knows, maybe in 1 year, 2 years, we could build something there. We never knew it's going to come this fast. So yeah.
Now that sounds absolutely amazing. So obviously you guys knew what it is that you wanted even before you got married. You already had it in mind. Okay, we want to live in Abuja. This is our dream, and you made a plan of how you are going to actually make that happen, which is very key here. So so bottom line is, for this kind of thing, you need to start as early as possible. Have a discussion maybe with your significant other and come to an agreement. Okay, we're going to buy this piece of land. It is X million naira. We're going to start saving up for it. And clearly it was a collective effort here, which actually is an amazing story, bearing in mind how things are in the country right now. It's absolutely wild out there. And I know people are still like, how? But anyways, Rosa, let me go to WhatsApp really quickly here, because a very, very interesting question from Ikea. And I'm actually going to read this now because I know that you've actually commented on this before. Ikea says, there's a guy on Twitter who claims that for 5 million naira, he can build you a 2-bedroom bungalow. Are the couple in your studio affiliated with that guy?
No, we don't go here. No, that's at all.
I had to ask that question, Rotus, because I know that I saw some like a kind of back and forth on Twitter about this. So I had to bring that up. So Ikeda, I hope that answers your question. No, they are not in any way, shape, or form affiliated with that individual. They did their thing on their own, which is
Yeah, and I asked that guy to come on personal finance. He never answered, so he never tried to get that. And just to clarify, they're saying the land alone was 5. He's saying he's able to build you the entire structure for 5 million. So till today, no one's been able to verify his claims. And he's yet to do that. Yeah, go ahead.
Rotus, when I saw that tweet, I laughed it off because this is just something that we're just coming out from, or is an experience that is fresh to us, you know. So somebody coming to claim that you can build a house with 5 million in this Nigeria,
crazy.
It's just crazy. It's just crazy. The person, I'm not a structural engineer. I don't know. I have a first-hand experience, and we have a first-hand experience in that right now. So it's just absolutely crazy. I don't think I think it's just a no-no.
So let's get into the building materials, because we talked about the land. Now this is where now if we now start talking about building the structure itself. I mean, the 6-month period sounds really amazing. What about surely you had to import the building materials, no?
What? No.
We got everything.
All the building material is there in Nigeria.
everything was sourced locally.
Yeah, it was sourced locally here. We never imported anything.
Oh wow.
So that is wait. So from the lights, doors, plumbing, sinks, bathtubs, kitchen, floor tiles, paints, everything you were able to source here in Abuja, or did you come from other states?
Yeah. We sourced everything here. Everything. From the block to the cement to the tiles to just everything. We only moved there with our properties when we finished.
Oh, now that is wow. That is amazing. Now, which then leads to this question. You're able to source everything here. How are you able to deal with the cost? Because a lot of people who are building right now have been lamenting and complaining, oh, the cost of cement, the cost of this, cost of that. How are you guys able to manage all that?
You know, that's where the that's where the big question and the mathematics comes in.
Oh,
but,
yes.
I don't think we have a comprehensive list of how we're able to put everything together, what everything costs right now. But what we can say is that the building from scratch to finish down to the keys, like handing over the key to us, did cost somewhere around I don't know, 30 to 40 million. That's what it did cost us to build this house. And yeah.
And to be honest, we didn't really have everything when we started. That's why when we were like, God built us a home. We basically had money for just the foundation and starting up the building to maybe the roofing stage. And then when we got to the roofing stage, like our money finished. We couldn't even we couldn't do anything for a month.
For like a month, yeah.
The thing was like us, because we were expecting money from somewhere for the roofing, but it wasn't coming, and we were like, God, what is this?
And let me tell you a quick one, yeah. Just 1 month before we got married, yeah, we had our wedding in November 26th. So just 1 month before we got married, went to invite my landlord. Yeah, we are getting married. Here is the card, and the next thing he's serving us in return is a quick notice, telling us crazy. It's crazy, right? So telling us to leave the house by this month. This is July.
Yes,
by the end of this month. So I'm like, no, I'm just going to bring in a woman into the house. What am I going to do and all that? But here goes the caption. This what motivated us with our caption, because when we started building, actually we started building just 2 days after purchasing the land. Yeah. That's everything was fast. Just the land, make sure the lawyer did his research the next day. I don't know how he did it, got the papers and gave to us and all that. Yeah. We just started building, just wanted to start doing something because we've been served an eviction notice, right? And we want to live in Abuja. That's another thing. So we already have a land here. What next? Let's just put a few blocks together, maybe start with 1,000 blocks and see where it goes. Yeah. So seeing where it goes, we are living inside the house right now.
How I want to ask you, did you both live in Abuja already, or were you both living outside of Abuja when you decided that this was what you wanted to stay?
Yeah, we were living in Enugu when before we purchased the land. So the moment they told us the land was up for sale, we had to fly to Abuja, did everything. Like I said, we started the building 2 days after purchasing the land. So I think we stayed an extra 6 days, then flew back to Enugu, handed everything over to the contractor. And my younger brother lives also very close to this property. So we was also supervising the job while the contractor was supervising the job. Yeah. So we only came back again to Abuja after the roofing, and we stayed for about a month to the stage of what after the plastering, and maybe when they were doing the tiling, and we left. Yeah. So handed over everything again to the engineer and finished everything. That was it.
All right.
Okay, so it is good stuff. So, but the thing I'm trying to, for people who are listening, for the purpose of planning, if you started building 2 days after you bought the land, then that means that you must have saved up, because the more you start building, they're going to say, Oga and Madam, we need cement, we need this, we need this, we need this. And you have to start, you have to start paying for all these things as the contractors are requesting them, so you can build the house rapidly. So my thing is, at least from the personal finance perspective, is you obviously knew upfront how much the land would cost and how much building it would cost. So what was the savings process like to be able to just pay for the land and start building everything? Can you talk about the savings and the foresight into that particular aspect?
Okay. Before I got married personally, I had this rule. I call it the 40-40-20, where every income that I get, I put 40 aside to no go. Even if somebody is dying, I'm not touching that money. Right? Then I have another 40. Then I just put in some investment, whatever. I can buy land, whatever, just any investment at all, just stack it up. Then 20 is just for the daily expenses and whatnot. You know, a guy has to buy a clothes down. So that's the culture for me. So when I got married, I briefed my wife on, okay, this is the saving culture, and since then we've been abiding by that. And I think that's actually what brought us here in the savings culture.
Yeah, that's what saved us from living.
Oh, wow, good stuff. I actually have a question, a follow-up question to that, but we need to take a quick breather right now. On the other side of that, it's still about the savings culture, and it's something that I'm really curious about on a personal level. So you're listening to Personal Finance on Smooth 98.1. The conversation will continue on the other side. Stay with us.
Great stuff. Thank you, guys. Great interview. Really great interview.
Thank you. Thank you so much. This thing. You should
Well, we're going back in and now.
Okay.
All right, welcome back. This is Personal Finance on the Smooth Drive on Smooth 98.1 with me, Ayo and Rotus is also in with me. And our guests today are, Michael and Blessing Ifeanyi. And we're talking about how they were able to build a home in 6 months. Yes, people, 6 months, not 6 years or 60 years, 6 months. Yes, in this same Nigeria that we're all in right now. I mean, we've been having a great conversation with them, talking about how they're able to put money together, acquire the land, and so on and so forth. So before that break, guys, you're talking about, Michael, you're talking about how you have this 40-40-20 rule, and then you guys got married, and then you broke it down that, you know what, this is how I do my thing when it comes to putting money aside. And also the question I was going to ask is, did Blessing then begin to abide with the 40-40-20 rule, and it was like a joint Voltron effort kind of thing, or you were still doing your thing and she was doing her thing, or there was a coming together?
When I got married to him, I had to learn it. It wasn't easy because it's a different scheme of work. So, but it helps in managing finance, especially when you're entering like marriage, you're starting a new family. I saw the need that this is actually working. So I had to try, but I wasn't like up to his level, but to that extent, I did. Yes, I did, and it really works a lot. It really works.
All right. Let me go to WhatsApp really quickly. There's a message from Onochi. Onochi says, in summary, the couple already saved at least 60% of the money before even embarking on the project. The 40-40-20 rule applies to the 5% earners, I beg. Thanks for bringing them on.
Yeah, you both have, I think Michael is a software engineer and Blessing is into fashion. So you both have jobs. Can you speak to the importance of both couples, the couple having a, I guess a dual income, or the importance of that?
Well, it's very of course, in Nigeria that we're living in now, we think it's very, very important for couples to have dual income, because it's crazy. This country is crazy. At least anything can happen at any time. Okay, so the whole income in a household coming in just by one person, we don't think is a great idea, because what if something happens to the person? What if tomorrow you don't see the person? What if the person loses his or her job, or contract stops coming in, or whatever? What is going to be of the household? So we think it's best couples have dual income, because that way, when the chips are down the other side, the other person can always come in and salvage the situation and all that.
Especially for young couples like coming into marriage.
Yeah, and young couples, you don't have to do without that, honestly. If if the other person, if one of the couples is a super billionaire, well, by all means.
I go sit to the other person.
Speaking of one of the couple being a super billionaire, Onoche sent a follow-up message saying, "Oh, he's a tech bro. I'm not sad anymore."
I wanted to know, because with everything you put into building this house, has it impacted your other spending? Have you had to, wait before you go on vacation or, buy a car or make any other? Has the house impacted your finances going forward? Have you had to take it, augment or change anything with how you guys live and your lifestyle?
Yeah, it actually did change a lot. Let's start with after our wedding. A lot of couples, they will go ahead and do a lavish wedding by all means. We just had our moderate wedding, and we never went anywhere for vacation or honeymoon.
Yeah, we did
We
not.
never went anywhere because we already know the goal ahead of us. So why go and blow out the millions when you can actually put it into something and see the fruits immediately? So remember, I said we've already been served a quit notice before our wedding. So we just thought it's just going to be foolish of us to just go on a honeymoon or a vacation somewhere while we are looking at eviction. We are looking at living under the bridge. So that.
All right, good stuff. Okay, now looking at the current situation in the country, I mean, fuel subsidies have obviously been removed, and just yesterday we saw another increase in the pump price of fuel. So looking at all that and bearing all that in mind, what plans are you both making to adjust now to the current realities? I mean, seeing as you've been able to pull resources together to build yourselves a house, something some people never get to do in a lifetime. So obviously there's something you guys are doing right when it comes to your finances. So what are you doing to adjust in order, to keep yourselves, let's say, above water?
Okay. To keep ourselves above water, yesterday I was just discussing with my wife. Babe, beside time we just go and buy a bicycle. Honestly.
Get to burn some calories.
We're going to burn some calories.
Yeah.
So, but it's actually crazy what's going on in Nigeria right now. At least for so to say an average and now whatever. It's just crazy, really. But Nigerians, we've always had a way of surviving. And I believe that, well, we always have a way around it. If you are filling your tank before, maybe you could just buy a 5K own and wherever it stops, you enter whatever and continue your journey.
Yeah.
So that's it.
We've only got a minute to go. This has been a great conversation. Can you guys just give some advice in a minute to go? Advice to other couples that want to build a home and build a life together. Just as a summary, just advice to anybody, people listening.
Okay, our advice to couple like looking forward to owning a home or starting a project, I'll just say you should start. Don't look at your account. Don't be, because us, we knew we just had money to purchase the land and buy a couple of blocks, and then that was it. And we went with it, and yes, the money finished, we lost hope, but God was our hope. So just start, don't look at the limitation. And there's this mantra I always use, that whatever you put in God's hand, you definitely see the hands of God in everything. And that is what works for us. And it's still working for us.
Yeah, exactly.
Great advice. Great advice. You guys, very inspirational story. And we thank you, Michael and Blessing, for taking the time to talk to us. And we really appreciate the insights that you've given us. So well done. Well done. Very inspirational story.
A very, very inspirational story. It's time to go and buy my own land like this one, because what?
To help you for one.
We'll see what we can do. All right, we've come to the end of Personal Finance on Smooth 98.1. Michael and Blessing Ifeanyi have been with us today. We're talking about how they were able to build a home in 6 months. I wish you guys the very best as you continue on this journey of life. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you.
All right, Smooth 98.1. Still so much more to come on the Smooth Drive. More music for you. And of course, at 6:10 p.m., we'll get into the AXA Mansard Safe Cruise. Stay with us. All right, thank you so much, guys, for joining in. Very, very interesting conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Right. Have a great evening.
You too.